What's going on, Cab Training family? I'm Coach Jacob Cabezudo with Cab Training, and in this video, I'm going to give you guys 3 tips that I give to the athletes that I train to improve speed. A lot of youth athletes, high school athletes, and college athletes need a boost in their speed, and these 3 tips are going to very greatly improve the way you run and how fast you run. So stay tuned, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and let's get better today. Tip number 1 that I give my athletes when speed training is to not think. We do a lot of technique drills. We harp on technique a lot in our training sessions while we're running. And I kind of take an opposite approach to that. I go and tell them, don't think about technique when you're running. Because once you start thinking, your mind starts to slow down and your body starts to slow down. Just think in the middle of a game, let's just say you're playing linebacker or something, and you're overthinking about what your responsibility is at linebacker. Do I have the middle zone? Do I have a man? Where do I drop to? Who's my first read? And I'm overthinking. Well, now you're gonna start playing slow, your feet start slowing down, and you're not as effective of a player. The same thing happens when you're sprinting. If you're thinking, oh, I've gotta pump my arms right. Oh, I've gotta hit my foot underneath my body. Oh, I gotta make sure that I don't have too big of a backswing on my leg. All when you're trying to run extremely fast and you're trying to test your speed, you can't be thinking about 4 or 5 different things when running. When you do that, you end up slowing yourself down. And I did this a lot with the kids that I train because their parents are yelling from the sideline like, hey, pump your arms, get your knees up, all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, guys, block out the noise from me, block out the noise from your parents. Just focus on running extremely fast and you're going to get the gains. Yes, we can work on technique, but leave technique on the technique drills. Okay, we're going to continue to do technique drills, but once we're sprinting full speed and we're testing our speed, don't think about anything, just run fast. So that's the first tip that I use with my athletes when training speed. The second tip that I give my athletes that I train on their speed is to improve their flexibility. And this is so underrated. When it comes to flexibility, it's one of the most important things when it comes to performance because if you're flexible, you're automatically going to improve your range of motion when you're sprinting, when you're changing direction, and that helps reduce injury. You're less tight, you're more fluid, you're able to run hot for a lot longer. It's just great to be flexible. A lot of guys that I train can't touch their toes, and so I get on them about being able to touch their toes, but it's such a huge benefit to them to be flexible. So every athlete from youth to college all the way through professional, flexibility and mobility is super important. Couple flexibility drills that I'll give you guys is Spider-Man's. Basically, you're in push-up position. You're gonna bring your right foot up to your right hand and stretch out your hip flexor. And then you do the same thing with your left foot all the way up to your left hand. You could also do inchworms, which is a hamstring stretch. It's a brutal hamstring stretch, but it's really good to get those hamstrings to stretch beyond what you're used to stretching them to. Make sure you guys don't do this when you are cold because when you stretch a cold muscle, you could strain it and injure it. Make sure you're already warm and you're doing this post-workout to stretch out your muscles. The last stretch I got is another hip flexor stretch. It's basically a lunge position. You're gonna have one leg out in front, knees are bent, and you're going to be leaning back, getting that extra stretch on that hip flexor. Those are 3 stretches that you guys can use to improve your flexibility. Tip number 3 is all about how to improve stride length. Stride length is something that I didn't have a really good understanding on until a couple years ago. But when I was training for football, I was told that you gotta reach for improved stride length because speed is stride length plus stride frequency. That's what I was told. Now, you do not want to reach to improve your stride length. All that's gonna do is that it's gonna overextend that hamstring, you're gonna start landing out in front, and you're actually gonna start applying a braking force, which slows you down. So don't start reaching with your stride to make your stride longer, because that's not going to make you faster. The way you actually improve your stride length is you have to improve your force development. And how you do that is 1, you get stronger, and 2, you get more explosive. And so how do you get stronger? Well, you lift weights, you improve your relative strength. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be able to lift a certain amount of weight when you weigh 200 pounds. But you want to be strong compared to your body weight so you can propel yourself forward with each stride off one leg. And then how you build that explosive strength is through plyometrics. I like to do single leg plyometrics and double leg plyometrics, and that helps that rate of force development on one leg or two legs, and that's going to really help the stride length. Because if you think about it, when you're running, it's basically a series of single leg jumps just in rapid succession. So if you can improve how well you can jump off one leg or two legs, it can greatly improve how far you can push off with each stride. And so that therefore improves your force development, which in turn improves your stride length. So I hope that helped you guys kind of get a good understanding of how you improve stride length. It's not about reaching, it's about force development, and it's about how hard you push off the ground and how explosively you can push off the ground. I hope this video helped you guys out a lot. If you guys want more content, I post daily on Instagram and TikTok. You could just search up Cab Training. I have almost 20,000 followers on Instagram, so if you guys want to hit me up on Instagram and get me closer and closer to 20K, go ahead and do that. I have about 10K on TikTok, so if you guys want to follow me there and show some support on TikTok, go on ahead. I post videos every Thursday at noon here on YouTube and shorts every other day, so I'd love to have your guys' support. And hit that subscribe, hit that like button so more athletes, parents, and coaches like you can find this video and get helped by it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's get better today.